It was January when this all started. And I'll tell you, it really caught me by surprise, because I wasn't expecting it. There were no signs, no telltale signs, nothing. The worst of it at that point was that I had to tell my family. That was the hardest. So anyway, excuse me. So I think I called my dad first, and we weren't even really sure it was cancer, so everybody was keeping a positive outlook on it. And, I knew once a mammogram was done, because they had hit it or touched it or moved it or did something to it, that I felt it at that point, from that point on. From that very first mammogram. And, hang on, I'm going to blow my nose. Okay, there we go. So, anyway, it's like a cat and mouse game in the beginning, and I remember being called back for my second mammogram. I don't want to jump too far forward and backwards, so I'm going to try and stay on line here. And here we go again. Before I even get right on line, I wanted to keep my head open, because today will probably be the last day that I'll be able to keep even the mohawk, because my hair's been falling out and it's clumping, and so I always wanted to sport one of these mohawk things, and I never had the guts to do it before, and probably never again, but I really enjoyed having it, It was kind of cool. So I'm going to put my thing back on. Hold on. Because, even though I'm not in the sun, I still burn my head and stuff. Okay, here we go. This is the way you'll be seeing me from now on for a long time. So anyway, back to the beginning, the second mammogram. I remember going in there, and still it had not hit me that it really could be cancer. I knew that something was wrong. I knew there was something there, but I still didn't put that word cancer to it yet. In all that time, I know I'm naive. I must be naive. I thought my mother would live forever. Anyway, so I knew it was something, but all the other times, and there have been a lot, all the other times, it really hasn't been anything. So really been anything. It's never been anything before. This is the first. So I walked in there, and it was just a little bit quieter in that office, and the women behind the desk talked a little differently, and maybe they weren't being any different. Maybe the first time I went in there, I just didn't pay attention to the way everything was, because it wasn't a necessary part of reality that I needed to be a part of, so it wasn't on my stage that day. So anyway, I went in there, and still, that whole visit, nobody said cancer, They just said that there was something abnormal. They said that they saw a shadow. They saw maybe a tumor, like a hard substance. But everything was that my breast is so dense. We really don't know. Yada yada yada. And looking back on it now, they all knew it was cancer already. The BI-RADS on there, it was 3C, I think it was, if I remember correctly. And the only thing bigger than 3C is 4, and there is no more. That's it. So when I left there that day after the second mammogram, she said, "Hang on a minute before you get dressed, okay?" And I waited, and she called me back into the office and said, "Look, I want to do another couple of pictures this a certain other way or whatever." I did it, and she says, "Okay, now you can go get changed and come back to the office, and then you can go." So I get dressed, and she calls me into the office, and she said, "I want you to talk to the doctor, to the radiologist. He wasn't here to come and see you himself personally, so I called him, and he wanted to talk to you, and believe it or not, I still cancer didn't just pop into my head at that moment, and he got on the line, and I remember he said, "I think you should have a biopsy, and you should do it fast. I can make an appointment for you tomorrow, and we can do the biopsy right here. And look, it's got to be scary for you to think about what's going on right now. But if you were my wife, I would tell you to have the biopsy done right away." And with that, he hung up, and he never used the word cancer, But, I didn't either. So when I walked out of the office and I walked back into the waiting room as I was to leave, the two nurses, or the two ladies behind the desk, made me think about cancer. Because they were looking pretty horrified. And they were quiet. And they didn't say goodbye. And I walked out. And I walked into the car, and there was Bruce and both the dogs. And I told them I thought I had cancer. They weren't sure yet, but I need to go in and get a biopsy done. I dried my eyes because Bruce said, "Well, you just can't jump to that conclusion, So I said, "Okay, you're right." I dried my eyes, pulled myself together, and we went to go get a hotel room for the night to do the biopsy. And that was like my first taste of the possibility of cancer. I had no idea what I was in store for. Even when I said I did, I had no idea. But for all you people who keep saying I'm going to be just fine, I'm going to be fine, all I got to say is I caught this.